ideas within us today. It's an honor to have all of our guests over here, and today somehow I feel that the cinema festival has come to an end. But yet again, one good thing that is about ending, that something new will begin sometime soon, sometime earlier. And I, Aditi, again, on the behalf of the complete student fraternity of the lovely professional university, welcome you all to the Pentomnia Cinema Festival. This festival is solely dedicated to the international, national, and regional short films of all genre, aiming to find new perspectives and to celebrate the power of a true, good, authentic, and an untamed story. Today, we have covered a remarkably excellent journey. The Cinema Festival has gone through a lot, searching for the films, searching for the best, searching for the goodest films that we have today with us. And today, we'll be announcing the results of the Cinema Festival 2020, organized by the student organization Pentomnia under the aegis of Division of Student Welfare, lovely professional university. And now, to go ahead with the program, to go ahead with the scene today, it's time that we should invite our esteemed guests, our dignitaries for today. So, for the very first of all, I would love to invite Shri Shukwant Dadda sir, डायरेक्टर एंड प्रोड्यूसर पंजाबी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री एंड बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर आपका इस फिनाले में सिनेमा फेस्टिवल के. Sukwant sir is a popular director. Kindly, over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Diti. Thank you. I'm not only making Punjabi films, I made Hindi films. In fact, I've mostly made Hindi films, by the way.
Right, sir.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's it.
And right now, yes, right now I accept my mistake. And as I read the latest movies which Sukwant Dadda sir has directed are Ek Chadar Maili Si, Antim Nyay and Churiyan.
Well, that's not the latest film. Those are films that did last century, in fact.
Okay, sir. And how do we get to know?
Sorry?
How do we get to know about your latest films that are available?
No, they are just finished some short films. So it's latest I've done some short films. About one I've just finished about a month back.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, कि आप आज आए सिनेमा फेस्टिवल के लिए आपने समय निकाला to inspire all of us, to inspire the students of film production in the university as well as across the viewership that's going to be today.
It's entirely going to be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Next upon, I heartily welcome Dr. Harjeet Singh, sir, filmmaker. And we welcome you to the show, sir. And let me begin by telling you that sir has been honored by the Lift India Awards for the Best Biopic Feature Film Award. And the next upon it's A Janam Tumhare Lekhe. Is it, may I know, sir, is it an award or anything that you'd like to talk about today?
Thank you, Diti. I think we should talk about cinema in general, or that will be much more appropriate.
Yes, sir. And to the introduction of Harjeet Singh, sir has produced and co-directed In Quest of the Le Corbusiers India. It's a documentary serial in 4 parts, which is an Indo-Hungarian co-production. To move upon next, we also have Sir Karanveer Singh Sibia, sir, producer, and sir is the chairman of the Akal Group of Institutes, Sangrur, Punjab region, which includes the Akal Degree College for Women, Sangrur, Akal College of Education for Girls, and Fatehgarh Channa and Akal Collegiate Senior Secondary School, Sangrur. We welcome you wholeheartedly to the show, sir. And last but not the least, we have the backbone of the Pentomnia Cinema Festival amongst us today, Dr. Paramjeet Singh Kattu, sir. Sir is a filmmaker, and I also would love to congratulate Sir for the premiere of his latest silent film in Chandigarh.
Thank you, Dipti. Thank you for your honor.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, to begin with a bit of chit chat, with a bit of interaction that our students, that our viewers are waiting for. I would love to know from all of the guests today we have about the journey they had with cinema. And first of all, I'd like to go with Sukhwant sir today about his journey of his life with cinema and filmmaking. Sukhwant sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
I made my first film, first documentary I made was way back in 79, 80. It was the first film, documentary film made on Nihangs, which was 79, 80, I think. It took me almost more than a year to make the film. That was the beginning of my career. And then I made a couple of documentaries here and there. And then my first feature film came. I started in 85, end of 85, and finished in 86. It was released on December 86, which it could be 86, 87. That was Ek Chadar Maili Si. So that was the first feature film I made. And then followed by a couple of other films. I think I made about Hindi, mostly Hindi first. And then I made some Punjabi films, which are, I did, first film I did Punjabi film was, I think, 2005 or 2006. And in total, I made about, I think, 10 or 11 feature films. Then I've done lots of television serial. I must be running in few hundreds, I suppose.
That's amazing.
Must be 1,000 perhaps.
Yes, sir, that's amazing.
And I can't even remember the names of it. There are so many of them.
Quite a tough count.
Yeah, so, and I started that first, when I started, I think, 95, I think, for making serials. And then, of course, making simultaneously films as well as
Yes.
serials and TV, that means. So now, recently, I've made, recently, I mean, it's yet to be released a film, a short film.
Yes.
It's called Scent of Shalimar. Shalimar is a perfume, so it's a romantic film, so a short film. It's a 45 minutes. Then it's a PTC. So that's, I think, releasing on 5th of March. And then if you ask me some question, probably I can answer. Otherwise, telling what I've done is must be boring for everybody else. But if you ask me some question, and I probably can.
Sure, sir. We're heading on towards that. Before I know the impact of cinema, the impact of filmmaking in Harjeet sir's life, a lesson, a learning that he had with cinema throughout his life.
For me, cinema, when I was a child, so I was living in a small town, and that town has only one cinema hall. And during summer days when we were sleeping on the roofs, so the sound of the cinema used to vibrate in the atmosphere, and I used to listen to the tracks. That attracted me a lot.
Yes.
So my parents were against films. So
Yes.
I used to go to the cinema, sit on the backside of the cinema and listen the tracks. And that was so wonderful experience that attracted me towards cinema. But during those times, it was very difficult to get into film
Yes.
because it was entirely a different scenario that time. I'm talking about 60s. So then after doing my post graduation, I was doing PhD in Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar.
Yes.
So during that time, uh, television was very popular. So the shopkeepers will put the televisions outside their shops, and people will come in flocks and watch the programs.
Yes,
So
sir.
it so happened that one day, uh, my roommate, he was doing translation for news for Doordarshan. So hello, he,
Yes, sir.
yeah, he came to me and he said that they need a graphic artist. Can you go for a week? So I jumped because I was good in painting and layout designing.
Yes,
So for 6 days, I went to the television in Amritsar and did the graphics.
yes, sir.
And that period, that 6 days, that changed my life. I decided that I should be in television. So I left my research in the final years and I
Yes.
joined, luckily, as a television producer in 77. And then I went to training in FTI, and then I was exposed to the international cinema, and that was such a wonderful experience. So for the rest of my life, I was stuck to cinema and television. So that is how I started my career. Uh, I made films quite late. मतलब, after joining television, then I took leave and did my first feature film. That was Visakhi. So in '92.
Yes.
Then I did Heer Ranja with Harbhajan Maan as a lead. Then A Janam Tumhare Lekhe. And for another Hindi film, I wrote dialogues. That was Hawaii. So
Ji.
that is how my journey with cinema started.
Yes, sir. And now such an amazing journey you've had with cinema. And now talking about, as you said, that televisions were not a part of the common life which people lived back in back in 30 years from now. So how both of you think that all three of you think that the internet, the era of internet, has changed a lot in terms of filmmaking and cinema, and the actually the variations that have happened in past few years.
This change is very dramatic. It's so sudden. Because suddenly mm, people are not watching, not going to the cinemas. They're watching uh, mostly films on television or home theater or on their mobile phones. And the filmmaking techniques have also changed a lot. You know.
Yes.
Earlier, the celluloid and the films were shot on films. Now films are made without films. They are digitally made, not on a,
Quite ironic.
yes, not on negative films.
Yes.
So this technology, though it looks it's very easy to make films in digital media, but I think it has become more challenging, more difficult to make films on digital. Because earlier, when the films were shot on negative, lots of preparation, lots of expertise. You will always look for a best cameraman, best technicians,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that will now that exercise has changed a lot. Now
Yes.
everyone thinks पोस्ट में कर लेंगे जी, एडिटिंग में हो जाएगा, बाद में कर लेंगे, VFX कर लेंगे, ये करें. This casual attitude that is damaging the techniques of cinema, because
Yes.
some techniques can change, but the spirit of cinema, the spirit of
Hmm.
filmmaking, it is the same.
Indeed.
If the tools are digital, that doesn't mean they are easy. Okay. So the same kind of passion, the same kind of expertise, the same kind of uh, meaningful to create meaningful cinema, there those feelings, they're required even more. You know.
Yes, sir. Indeed. True. And now I'd also request Sukhwan sir to kindly address us with a word on this particular thought.
Said, you see, earlier when I made my feature film or we were making documentaries, what's happening on the screen, only one person knew. That was a cameraman. He was the only person who knew what exactly is happening on the cameraman. Everybody else was assuming it
Hmm.
because he was the one who was holding the camera. Now it's very difficult for people to relate to this, that nobody else knew what's happening in the camera. But in between, when the video came in, the video used to be black and white,
Yes.
and the monitor used to be color. So the cameraman was the only person who didn't know what's happening on the screen, in fact, because he was
Yes.
watching the monitor which was black and white. So this is a big change. Moreover, when you were working earlier, you were on the edge all the time. You were never sure what's happening. So
Yes.
you're putting all your best to make sure, but still you're never sure. Even cameraman was, whether it's the light is not right or not. Everybody, he was always on toes. Now, in creativity, I think that's very, very important to be on your toes, be always on not sure or trying
Yes.
to make an effort to be sure. But that's like, for example, if you see certain films which were made earlier than that, black and white films. I mean, I'm talking about photography. I'm not talking about direction. I'm not talking about other things. Like a film like Mughal Azam. You see,
Yes.
just see the kind of achievement they had in terms of lighting.
Yes.
I don't think that even today, when you have all the things, it's extremely difficult to achieve that kind of feel. It's the third dimension or the fourth dimension that we talk about. Unfortunately, although I'm not against development has to take place, but unfortunately, the video has made our work very casual. As Harjeet also said it, that say बाद में कर लेंगे kind of stuff. कि हो जाएगा यार, बात कर लांगे, post कर लांगे. That thing was never there.
Hmm.
Either now, here, or never.
Yes.
That was a compulsion, and that I think you have to be on the toes, unless and until there is some kind of pressure on you. I think it's very difficult to have a certain amount of commitment, certain amount of creative urge, which was there in the film that we are doing.
Yes, sir.
There was a feel altogether to hold the film like this and like this. Last time I saw I held the negative in my hand. I was making my last film, the film that I made last with the Chudiyan, in fact. That's the last time. In fact, I was in the laboratory, and there was a film which was shot on the film. Last time I literally, used to roll the negative. I don't know many people that used to roll the negative of film. That's the last time I actually held the film and did the rolling. And that's a great feeling. I mean, that was a great feeling. Even when you used to edit, it is it has a different feeling altogether. It's extremely difficult to explain that feeling.
Yes, sir.
That touch was. I'm not saying that people don't have a touch now, but I'll miss that kind of a touch. I miss that touch, and maybe the people who have not done the film, they will probably not relate to it.
Be
But that's a the no, again, as a it's become more difficult now. Everybody now, where technique have come easier. Uh, at the same time, it's more challenging also because everybody can make a film, and anybody can make a film. Like photography earlier, you have a year's best photograph. Now that's it's a thing of past. It's not there. But having said that, it's a development, and development has to be welcomed and used. But again, I think if what may lack is that urge,
Yes.
a compulsion or insecurity. The insecurity of the images that that should be brought in, I suppose, if you're making a film. That's required, but that never changed. That will never change.
Indeed.
And now I say you see a film on your camera or you see a film on the TV. People don't. Now the basic difference, as I will understand it, the difference between watching a film in the theater or watching a film on your television or on your mobile, there's a basic difference. And it's a major difference. It's a major difference. You see, when you go to theater, which means you have to plan. You plan with a family or with the children or husband, wife, or whatever, girlfriend or whosoever.
Yes.
You have to plan. You have to plan it. You
Yes.
go there, take a ride, go there, stand in a queue, buy a ticket, go enter a darkness, and then you're expecting a magic to happen.
Yes.
That's a filmmaking is. That you expect the magic to happen.
Indeed, sir.
Whereas that feel, and then it's all dark and suddenly I remember earlier when the filmmaking is they used to see so many reels, and people used to clap on the reels. Zyada, then they'll clap on the reels. But now that feel has the watch of the ceremony of watching a film is completely missing. And moreover, they feel like house full. Now there's no house full. After 15 minutes there's another show. So there's because those feelings probably are missing. Whether they're good or bad, I'm not saying this is good or this is bad. I'm just saying those nostalgia, perhaps, since we went through it, so we miss that. That
Yes, sir.
happening, a ritual hai, kapde pehn ke, ye karke, wo karke, to go to film and watch the film and sit there. As Harjeet said, earlier, much bigger than that was Sun Lo Kanna De. Vivid Bharati used to give a program, sirf audio honda si filma da. They used to only audio story and kahani. That is completely gone now. So the experience has become a different kind of experience. I'm nobody to judge it. I'm not trying to make any comment on this, but it's a different experience. I remember one of my friend's son, long back, he went to see a film, and he was a young boy, little boy, and said, "Papa, kidda vada television hai." So he was not sure of the theater thing. So that things are probably missing, or maybe it'll come back. And this COVID had done that so quickly. In fact, so I don't know.
I was about to come to the pandemic section as well. That now that we are talking about then and now, how filmmaking and the complete fraternity of cinema has been affected by this one single pandemic in a year. How all of you think that this might affect cinema in future?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir. Kindly answer.
No, it's not affected. It's already affected. It's already affected. You can see the films, like big films, last year.
Yes.
They got released on the television or Netflix or whatever the program. Which means you see, I mean, it's a joke. When you watch a television, earlier watch TV serial, what do? Yeah, sabzi bhi kattan rahe ho, to TV bhi dekhan rahe ho. That because sabzi bhi katte ho, to TV dekhte ho, dekh bhi liya, thode idhar udhar ghum liya, phir aage to dekh liya. That you never miss anything.
Yes.
That feel कि यार तुझे अपनी कुर्सी में पढ़ के oh my god आ हो गया
Ji.
That probably will never come. Or maybe, I don't know, if somebody changes something, but ਕਿ ਹਨੇਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁਰਸੀ ਫੜ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਫੜ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, that feel will be completely gone, or I think it's already gone, perhaps.
Already gone.
ਕਿ horror film ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਣੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਲੈਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ.
Yes, sir. We have a white space around us.
Do that.
Yes.
But filmmaking has that kind of experience, not TV, not your mobile. No.
Harjeet sir, I'd love to come to you for this answer.
When technology changes, a lot of things change. When the cinema was invented, the films were silent. Then
Yes.
sound came, then color came. And with every technological change, people feared that now this is gone, this is gone, this is gone.
Yes.
But cinema never dies. Even today, if you watch Charlie Chaplin films, they were made 100 years ago. They were silent films, but the kind of magic they have, that magic still works today.
Yes.
Because content is the king. Everything, the film is meaningful when it has a content. If very elaborately made, huge sets with the multi-star cast, but the content is not there, people will forget that film. If
Yes.
it is made on I think on mobile phone, shot with a minimum crew, with minimum artist, but if the content is good, it will live forever.
Yes,
So
sir.
that kind of cinema will always live. So even in these times, I think something better will emerge, bigger than cinemas. We
Yes.
might be able to watch like holograms, screens, huge screens in the sky, or anything can happen. I think whatever you imagine
Endless
can be
possibilities.
realized. I think this is not an end of cinema, but it's a new beginning. And something bigger, something more meaningful, something more communicative will certainly happen. I personally believe.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
See, Harjeet, this goes without saying, and it's a whole thing that we say content is a king. It was king, it will remain king. Now, when films came, opera didn't die, theatre didn't die. People thought it would die. When the films came, black and white, the development takes place.
Evolution.
Color films, this, that, and everything.
Yeah.
The content always remains this thing. But the thing is, and it will remain. Charlie Chaplin or so many other comedians, even if you watch them today, you laugh and you enjoy it, or you cry or whatever, But the thing is that as a new development takes place, as I said, the speed, unless there was some new, I'm not saying that films will die. Film will never die. No, nothing dies. Theatre has not died by coming films. Theatre hasn't died.
Yeah.
Before that, ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਕਲਾਂ ਦੇਖਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, which is, before that. So that way, nothing really dies. Sometimes it changes certain forms, it certain changes its, where you projecting it. But nothing really, no art form dies. Painting,
Yes.
no art. But the development takes on certain other aspects, it has certain other things, like change kar do. For example, when the television came, people thought the films are dead. I mean, they completely, Hollywood, they made films on this.
Yeah.
On closing the big studios gone closed and everything happened. Then I remember the two films came. One was Poseidon Adventure, and the other one was Towering Inferno. I remember. Those big films. You will never enjoy those films on television. So a big film, huge film. Those brought back filmmaking altogether.
Hmm.
And then, of course, followed other things. Also. But that was a complete watershed. That was a really cut point, those two films. And they came, I think, within a span of 1 or 2 years.
Hmm.
Changed the filmmaking style. Obviously, now when we're talking about film, now you can't avoid that people have to watch films on your mobile or on the television. You know, not because of COVID. COVID will end one day, it will end. But the people will watch films, and you can't help it. You know, on your mobile or your television, or the further might be that something else might come out that you put the specs and then you watch the film. So the content will remain, which goes without saying, and it will. But the nature of storytelling, the nature of thing will change drastically, and does change drastically. Even now, when the special effect came, earlier it was now every film, small, big, indifferent film, has special effects.
Yes.
Earlier, when you see, there are certain films I'll refer to. Like for example, I'm not sure, but I have, since I have also done filmmaking, and I'm aware of the international filmmaking. So my reference point could be certain films which are international. Like for example, you see David Lean's film, you see Lawrence of Arabia, or you see Dr. Zhivago, or you see Bridge on the River Kwai. You see a Lawrence of Arabia, you feel the heat. You're sitting in theater and you feel the heat. You feel the sand. And if you say Dr. Zhivago, you feel the cold. Lagda yaar, ठंड हो रही है. That's the fourth dimension, as we call it, or Bridge on the River Kwai. और वो लगता sultry ja weather hai. You feel that fourth dimension, as we call it. That might again. Similarly, in Indian filmmaking, I mean, we know, Harjeet and we have a common friend. He made a film way back in the 80s. He made it, Piravi. He shot the entire film in the rainy season. I remember seeing the film. He's a friend of mine. I remember seeing the film. The whole film shot in rains, Kerala rains. And you could, मतलब मैंने याद से बैठे सी अंदर ते यार बाहर तो नहीं पहन दिया यार जावा कर कितना जावांगे. The fact was it was raining, but you feel that, for a moment, that thing of, as we call it, fourth dimension, which is you cannot write it down. Which foreign films have that. Like Kurosawa's film has that kind of, जो कदे तो wind दिखाऊंगा ना तो तो लगता कि wind है किते, it's not that might get missed. I don't know about that.
Actually, people started believing in magic after they saw Harry Potter. So this
that's a different kind of magic. That's a different kind of magic. That is but magic, when I'm saying film magic, it's a different magic. कि यार मैं आ गया, मैं पैसे खर्चे आ, मैं टाइम छੱਡ के आया, ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਦੂ ਕਰਕੇ ਦਿਖਾ ਕੋਈ. फिर मैं गल होंदी है जे नहीं भी यार तू मेरे देख ले मैं अपने गंढे भी कट्टन दिया या प्याज भी छिलन दिया या कुछ सब्जी दिखने दिया ऐसे अच्छा ठीक है यार चलो कोई गल. But film you want that kind of drama, major drama, where you pull your chair or you डरते हो, all that kind of thing.
That is yes sir. And now moving on to Ramjeet sir, the silent film, the short silent film that you've created has been premiered during pandemic. How has been the impact of the COVID-19 or the current scenario taking being into consideration has affected?
First of all, I would like to thank that I am sharing the screen with the veteran filmmakers Sukhwant sir, Harjeet sir, Karnveer Sivia sir, and I am very young in the front of all these great personalities. Actually, वो हर मुश्किल में कोई ना कोई रास्ता निकल आता है. तो साइलेंट फिल्म was made in 2017 एक्चुअली। अभी तो हमने द सेवियर का प्रीमियर किया है। इट इज ए डॉक्यू ड्रामा बेस्ड ऑन life and the bravery of Brigadier Pritam Singh, who is known as savior of Poonch in the history of army, in the history of India actually. तो ये तो एक डॉक्यू ड्रामा है जो अभी हमने रिलीज नहीं किया, फिल्म फेस्टिवल में जा रहा है, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर दैट इट इज सिलेक्टेड, इवन इट्स सेमी फाइनलिस्ट इन लॉस एंजलिस फिल्म अवार्ड्स। तो अभी बाकी रिजल्ट वेट कर रहे हैं रिजल्ट की।
Yes.
तो ये कोविड-19 ने हर किसी को चेंज किया, फिल्म को चेंज किया। अभी सुखवंत सर और हरजीत सर बहुत अच्छे से एलैबोरेट कर रहे थे, बिकॉज दे हैव द ओरिजिनल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द सिनेमा मोर देन ऑल ऑफ अस। सो बहुत कुछ चेंज हुआ है, पर अभी हम तो न्यू जनरेशन है, हम तो इसी से सीख रहे हैं। हम तो एक्चुअली वी आर एंटर्ड इन न्यू इरा। तो यो जो सर थे कि रील को उठाना, हम तो बस कहानियां सुनते हैं। तो मैं अमरीक जी से सीखा, तो वो कहते थे कि जी इतनी मतलब वो इतने हैवी बॉक्स होते थे, उठा के जाते थे। और जी सर भी सुनाते हैं कहानियां कैसे इन्होंने डिजॉल्व को इन्वेंट किया था अपने टाइम में। एक्चुअली दीज आर सो मेनी ब्यूटीफुल टेल्स अबाउट द सिनेमा एक्चुअली। तो जो चेंज आई है, तो हम इसमें तो अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व भी कर सकते हैं, चेंज द चेंज एक्ट।
And now, taking into the frame the audience that's viewing us, that's watching us for today, how and what tips, what also if you would like to provide to them who want to begin the filmmaking, जो जाना चाहते हैं but समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं कि कहाँ से कैसे शुरू किया जाए, एक फिल्म बनाने का क्या तौर तरीका होता है?
Actually, the idea is mother of the film and all the creations. If you have an idea, you can do anything. तो सबसे पहले तो आइडिया इम्पोर्टेंट है। अगर आप फिल्म मेकर बनना चाहते हैं, तो आपके पास एक आइडिया होना चाहिए, एंड ऑल दी ओटीटी और आस्किंग अबाउट द यूनिक कंटेंट एक्चुअली। इफ यू हैव ए यूनिक कंटेंट, यू एग्जीक्यूट दैट वन। तो सबसे पहले तो आपके पास आइडियाज होने चाहिए, यूनिक आइडियाज होने चाहिए। एंड अभी टेक्निक बहुत ज्यादा, एक्चुअली मैं तो इसको हेल्पफुल कहूंगा कि जब हमारी पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन चल रही थी, तो हम मुंबई तो नहीं जा सकते थे, लेकिन सारा कुछ ऑनलाइन मैनेज हो रहा था। तो हम यहाँ पंजाब में बैठे तो उसको करेक्ट कर रहे थे, सजेशन दे रहे थे। तो टेक्निक आपको एज ए यंग फिल्म मेकर इज वेरी हेल्पफुल। तो आप पहले आइडिया होना चाहिए, आपके पास एक अच्छी टीम होनी चाहिए, देन यू कैन बी ए फिल्म मेकर। तो अभी ज्यादा चांसेस हो गए हैं पहले के मुकाबले। अभी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के ज्यादा चांसेस हैं, मेकिंग के ज्यादा चांसेस हैं, टीम जैसे अभी इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेशन के चांसेस हैं। इसी कोविड-19 के दौर में मैंने एक अर्जेंटीना से वो हमारे ज्यूरी मेंबर भी हैं मागदा। तो मैंने एक वर्चुअल डायरेक्शन का एक्सपेरिमेंट किया को मैं पंजाब में हूँ, तो मैं उसको स्टोरी बोर्ड सेंड करता हूँ, एंड वो शूट करके मुझे सेंड करती हैं, देन हम उसे एडिट कर रहे हैं। तो इसमें तो और भी ज्यादा मुझे लग रहा है कि पॉसिबिलिटीज आ गई हैं। तो एक अर्जेंटीना की एक्ट्रेस है, पंजाब में बैठा एक राइटर एंड डायरेक्टर है। तो वी आर कोलैबोरेटिंग दैट टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आल्सो इन दिस टाइम।
बिल्कुल सर। And now I'd like to have a word from Harjeet sir over this कि कैसे शुरू किया जा सकता है, कैसे किया जाए?
देखिए, एक बहुत जरूरी बात यह है कि ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि जो हम कर रहे हैं वही सबसे अच्छा है, वो सबसे बेस्ट है। एक्चुअली ये एक इसे रिले जैसे गेम होती है, ऐसे है। आप एक हद तक भागते हैं, देन आप फ्लेम जो है, टॉर्च है, दूसरे को देते हैं। देन तो राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग जो साइलेंट फिल्म्स थी उनमें भी जेम्स हैं। उसके बाद द फिल्म विद साउंड केम, उनमें भी बहुत ऐसा मतलब खजाना है, ट्रेजर है ऐसा। उसके बाद हर पीरियड ने वो क्लासिक्स और वो दी है, और उनको रिकॉग्नाइज करना, उनसे सीखना, उनको प्रिजर्व करना, ये बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है।
Yes,
हमें
sir.
ये ना लगे कि अब टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई है और जो पहले था वो ट्रैश है,
Hmm.
वो फीलिंग आ रही है, दैट इज वेरी डेंजरस। वी आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ आवर प्रेडेसेसर्स। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि जो हमारा हेरिटेज है, जो वो हम उससे बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं। वही चीजें, एवरीथिंग हैज बीन डन,
Yes, sir.
देयर इज नथिंग न्यू। व्हाट इज
Hmm.
न्यू इज योर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस एंड योर टच, अदरवाइज एवरीथिंग हैज बीन डन। तो मतलब ये जो हेरिटेज और के बारे में अवेयरनेस, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
Hmm.
अगर आप, if you want to be a filmmaker, you have to watch films of earlier filmmakers, because if you don't watch films, if you don't read about films, if you don't read literature, if you don't read scripts, you cannot be a filmmaker, because you have look, ये कोई overnight जो है ये नहीं होगा। it's a process and you have to go through the process। मतलब
बिल्कुल.
वो आप चाहे किताब पढ़ लें या आप किसी पर्सनैलिटी को, किसी शख्स को इतना ऑब्जर्व कर लें, जस्ट लाइक ए बुक, दैट मैन कैन बी ए बुक, और यू कैन रीड फ्रॉम ए बुक, बट
Yes.
यू हैव टू लर्न, यू हैव टू गो थ्रू दैट प्रोसेस। तो ये लगता ये है कि सिनेमा है, ग्लैमर है, इट्स वेरी इजी, ओवरनाइट यू बिकम स्टार्स, ओवरनाइट सक्सेस केम्स, नथिंग कम्स
Hmm.
ओवरनाइट। अगर वो ओवरनाइट आती है तो उसके पीछे 20-30 इयर्स का जो एक्सपीरियंस होता है, एक इंतजार होती है। तो मतलब डोंट गो फॉर जो तड़क फड़क
जी.
की तरफ मत जाइए।
हाँ.
इवन यू कैन लर्न फ्रॉम ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट फिल्म्स a lot about colors.
Hmm.
There's no color, but I think the best photography is in black and white, where you can feel the colors.
Yes,
ये
indeed.
आपको, हाँ, तो मतलब किसी कोई भी एरा जो है वो गुजरा हुआ नहीं है।
Hmm.
तो दैट इज वेल डॉक्यूमेंटेड, एक ऐसा हेरिटेज है जिसको प्रिजर्व करना, जिसको ऑब्जर्व करना बहुत जरूरी है। इफ यू वांट टू बी अ फिल्म मेकर, देन यू हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट others, you learn
Yes.
from other films, read from books, or without studying literature or without watching films, you cannot be a filmmaker.
बिल्कुल sir. Everything you said is true to every possible extent that I can understand things. I'd also request Sukhwant sir to kindly give our viewers a few advices, a few tips over this. सर आपका माइक बंद है शायद.
I'll refer to one of the Japanese pioneer filmmaker Kurosawa, J.D. Vire, who said that even the Hollywood, the top directors of Hollywood follow him, and they copy him, and they admit it openly, or openly admit it. If this Kurosawa say, I copied Kurosawa from this. In fact, Spielberg, who himself is one of the top director, he says every time I'm making a film, I watch his Seven Samurai again. Can you imagine Spielberg saying this? Yeah, I always, Now, Kurosawa says, you must read a lot. You must read. And people, as Harjeet also said, history is the biggest teacher. You cannot ignore it.
Yes, sir.
You must see people's film, what they have done. Try to even copy them. Doesn't matter. They say, Picasso said, if smaller artists copy and the bigger artists steal. there is nothing original as such.
Yes,
You
sir.
always have some impression for somewhere. If you think you have done created something,
Hmm.
it's I think you are illiterate basically. I in fact whenever there is some classes, which I keep sometimes give a lecture to students. Now we always say there are hello Didi, I can't see you. Probably you have gone off mic. Oh no, sorry. We say uh,
Visible now.
whenever there is we say filmmaking has certain rules or certain laws.
Hmm.
Invariably, student ask you, can the laws be broken? No. And the people answer is the same. And the people say, no, first learn the rule and then you break this thing. So
Yes.
this is a pet question and a pet answer. No.
Yes.
Since I encountered this question number of times, so when it says, can the rule be changed? So I said no.
Hmm.
They say, why? I said, because only has been changed. They already has been changed. Somebody else has already changed those rules.
Already changed.
And you are not really, you are liking the idea of changing a rule.
Hmm.
I said, okay, tell me one thing. Which is the rule that you want to change? Have you specified that this is a rule and I want to change this rule? So you actually are not thinking of changing any rule, but you are having concept of changing a rule because
Yes.
you will change certain rule. I say, tell me which rule you have to change. And they don't, invariably they don't have an answer. Because I said, whatever rule you want to change, they've already been changed. But
Yes.
the rules will remain the same. And that becomes the rule then. So there is no, in fact, rules go back to so much back to this thing that can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Archimedes principle, Archimedes, who has a triangle, you must have read that. I mean,
Yes, sir.
it says one thing at one time could be at one place.
Yes.
That's the Archimedes principle, right?
Hmm.
Now, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Exactly.
ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨ ਦਾ ਦੋ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ
एक ही होता है जी.
ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨ का एक मोटिव हो सकता है
हम्म.
ਇੱਕ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਦੋ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ
हाँ.
ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਇੱਕ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਇੱਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ no you cannot change this Archimedes principle ਹੈ applicable on filmmaking so sometimes the youngsters invariably have this idea to change very good excellent but if you ask them what do you want to change then is a question so one should not only I'm sure you should change it I'm sure that the development is all change but before that, it will be much better, as Kurosawa said it, you must read. You must read the books. You must read the literature. You must read history.
Yes.
And you just watch films. All kind of films, black and white, color, bad, good, bad, indifferent. I mean, you will be shocked sometimes when you film, because what happens, this is a film school syndrome. Film school syndrome. I've been to film school. I've been a student of film.
Yes.
ਇੱਕ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਮਾਸਟਰ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ so what they do is they start looking down upon other filmmakers
Yes, sir.
ਇਹ ਟਿਪੀਕਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਕੁਰੋਸਾਵਾ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖ ਲਈ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ like anybody else but you think other films are bad sometimes even so called ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀਆਂ watch certain films enormous films they were very popular once upon a time or they were not popular that's beside the point sometimes you learn so much
Yes, sir.
even a Punjabi film for that matter you see a film like Bhangra I mean ਗਾਣੇ ਸੁਣੋ ਉਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇ I mean ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਦਾ even yesterday I was listening to the songs of Bhangra ਕਮਾਲ ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ about the story now but you have to learn from them you cannot reject it in that's a bad thing You know,
Yeah.
you must learn from the history. As I said, any nation or any human being that they forget their history, they can never have a future. So you must read a lot, and moreover, filmmaking especially. Number one is a collective work. It's not an individual work.
Yeah.
जो मर्जी कहते रहो सी, it's a collective work.
Hmm.
5 7 10 ਬੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਇੱਕ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, that's a different thing. But the fact is there are lots of people around you who has contributed. Who has contributed what? You can never ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਪਿਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ that's a different thing.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ
ਉਹ ਸੋ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕੱਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਔਰ ਕੋਲੈਬੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ, ਹੈਲਦੀ ਕੋਲੈਬੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ, even if you see the filmmakers earlier, they had big collaboration. ਵੱਡੇ ਫਿਲਮਮੇਕਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਫਿਲਮਮੇਕਰਸ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੈਮਰਾਮੈਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਊਂਡ ਰਿਕਾਰਡਿਸਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੌਂਗ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ. They were good collaboration. So you should find, and it's not ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਦਵਾਂ ਕਲਾਕਾਰ, that is not a healthy sign. And you should have good people with you, collective people, listen to the people, and you should have more of a creativity in filmmaking. Is a maybe not filmmaking everywhere perhaps. Kushwant se कहते होते सी भी 5% inspiration है, 95% perspiration है. किसी रोज बैठ के काम करना है तुसी, ये एरिया में तुमको आइडिया आऊगा, कोडिंग होगा तो तुसी करोगे, और
जी. Such amazing, such inspiring answers I've heard.
Aditi, I am just want to adding only very small with the humble request. Actually, Harjeet sir और सुखवंत सर ने बहुत अच्छे से elaborate किया. I am just summarize it. जैसे कुरुसोवा की मैंने ना सीरिया सर से अक्सर ही बात करता हूँ कि रोशोमॉन मतलब वेरी वंडरफुल फिल्म. आपके पास बहुत कम एंगल्स हैं, बहुत छोटे छोटे फ्रेम्स हैं, बट वंडरफुल. कुरुसोवा की 7 समुराई हैं. तो हिस्ट्री तो ऑलवेज पे करती है, वो फिल्म मेकिंग में भी हो या लिटरेचर में भी हो. तो और आपके पास कलर्स की इंफॉर्मेशन और नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, एंगल्स की चाहिए, लाइट्स की चाहिए, और राइटिंग की चाहिए. और इतने जैसे कुरुसोवा का एक फेमस कोट है कि फॉर मी फिल्म मेकिंग कंबाइंस एवरीथिंग. दैट्स द रीजन आई हैव मेड सिनेमा work. In film, painting and literature, theatre and music come together. But a film is still a film. तो फिल्म में सारी चीजें इन्वॉल्व होती है, और एक फिल्म मेकर को ये सारा कुछ आना चाहिए. और मैं बस एक ही बात कहना चाहूंगा कि जब हमने डॉक्यू ड्रामा शुरू किया, वो 3 साल लगे हमें एक डॉक्यू ड्रामा को बनाने में, मिनिमम और मैक्सिमम 3 साल लगे. और सभी लोग पूछ रहे थे यार इतना टाइम लग रहा है, यहाँ तो फीचर फिल्म 45 दिन में शूट होके बन जाती है. तो जैसे सर कह रहे थे ना कि कुरुसोवा कहता है कि रीड करो, तो मुझे लगता है कि अगर मैं फिल्म मेकिंग में जरा सा अभी एक स्टेप भी ले सका हूं, तो मैंने पीएचडी की तो वो पे कर रही है, तो लिटरेचर में पे करेगी पता नहीं करेगी. तो फिल्म मेकिंग अगर मैं डॉक्यू ड्रामा, जब मुझे एक जर्नलिस्ट ने कहा कि सर आपने ऐसा ये डॉक्यू ड्रामा डॉक्यूमेंट्री वेरी हार्ड वर्क और रिसर्च का वर्क है, मैंने कहा जी मैंने एमफिल और पीएचडी की है. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, अब आप एलिजिबल हो, कम से कम बाद में पता चलेगा ठीक बनी या नहीं बनी. तो ये बहुत हार्ड वर्क है, और इसके लिए बहुत सारी मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि आप उस हार्ड वर्क को एक्सेप्ट करो. और मैं जैसे हरजीत सर कह रहे थे ना कि अगर मैं पर्सनली अभी मैं जंग हूँ, तो मैं सोचूं तो मैं कुरुसोवा से, चार्ली चैपलन से, इन लोगों से जितना सीखा है ना, उतना मैं नए फिल्म मेकर से ज्यादा नहीं सीख सका. तो थैंक्स फॉर योर एडवाइस सर. थैंक्स हरजीत सर. तो थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir, for adding an extra feather to this complete session of answers.
By the way, let me मैं कुरुसोवा के बाद तेरी फिल्म है ना रोशोमॉन.
जी.
Rashomon is a film which opened the door to Eastern, to the what do you call Hollywood.
जी बिल्कुल.
और जेडी 7 Samurai is one of the I say second most copied film in the world. हिंदुस्तान ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ 10 ਉਹਦੇ ਵਰਸ਼ਨ ਬੜੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ, ਇਨਕਲੂਡਿੰਗ ਸ਼ੋਲੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਸ਼ੋਲੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਬੜਾ ਵਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ।
Seven Samurai. But none of the film have reached even remotely near the original one.
ਜੀ ਜੀ।
That's also a fact, and it's a it's a beyond masterpiece. In fact, now, surprisingly, when Kurosawa was given the Lifetime Achievement Award, you know what he said? Just see the humbleness of the person. You can Google it and you can see it. He said, filmmaking is a vast medium. He said, I'm still learning how to make films. That man, who's ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਪੋਲਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਫਿਲਮ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੱਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਕੋਈ 2 ਮਾਸਟਰਪੀਸ ਬਣਾਉਂਦਾ, ਕੋਈ 3 ਬਣਾਉਂਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੁਰੋਸਾਵਾ ਨੇ 7 ਮਾਸਟਰਪੀਸ ਬਣਾਏ। Then he goes on counting. And that man says, I'm still learning how to make films. So you keep learning all your life, and it's a good thing. Learn,
Yes,
copy karo, chori karo, doesn't matter. It's all allowed. It's all allowed nowadays. So it's not a mari gal nahi hai.
this is a very I personally now feel it कि ये मेरे लिए बहुत beneficial session होता जा रहा है। I've seen a lot of surprises about the second most copied movie film जो आपने बताई वो चीज।
Yeah.
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai, yes. The first one is It Happened One Night. There's film called It Happened One Night. That's the most copied film in the world. In India, every star has worked in that film. Even from Raj Kapoor, Deva Anand, Sunil Dutt, all top stars. Even today, Amir Khan. all of them have done one version or the other of that film. It Happened One Night. कि कुड़ी करो भज जांदी, you must have seen those films, I'm sure. कि कुड़ी करो भज जांदी है and then she meets somebody, It happened one night. CBS साहब तुसी बड़े चुप हो, so I think we should involve CBS साहब also in the conversation. Probably we are,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And now that we're gradually moving towards what we've gathered for today, that is the cinema festival.
Okay.
And how all of you think that the cinema festivals have an impact on the working of cinema and filmmaking.
Sorry, come again.
How do you think that the cinema festivals have changed or have evolved the presence of cinema in people's life?
You see, asking me, am I supposed to answer this, or are you asking CBS up?
I request Harjeet sir to kindly answer the question.
Please repeat the question.
Pardon, sir. The question was about the impact of cinema festivals that have changed the dynamic of cinema since when they've begun. How do you think that things have changed since cinema festivals have been a part of cinema itself and the life of the audience?
When you say festival, so then you can feel the festival. Lots of people coming together, watching something, then exchanging ideas, then liking or not liking. So
Critics.
festival is such a beautiful thing because you explore new things, you watch new things, you learn new things. So I think festivals are very important. Every festival is important, but cinema festivals are more important because you can watch films of distant lands, from different countries, different continents. And when we are talking about Kurosawa, and when you watch Japanese films and you see so much your own in a Japanese film, and like Japanese animation films, they have changed the world. What Japanese animation films have done, the Pixar's films, they're frame to frame copy.
Yes.
So uh, it became possible because of festivals, because they could watch their films. And so any kind of festival for short films or feature films or animation films or uh, these festivals are very important because
Yes.
you learn a lot, you experience something wonderful. It's a very wonderful experience, and it should continue whatever the circumstances, whatever the pandemic, nothing. Uh, this must continue.
True that, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for this vivid explanation that you gave. And amongst us, we also have a Karanveer Singh Sibia, sir. Might be due to technical glitches, I might have been wrong at a part. But I welcome you again, sir, to the festival, to the meet, and to introduce you with our guests. To begin the interaction with you, my very first question from you would be your experience as a producer in the industry. That
Uh, Thank you so much, Aditi. It's really special. It's a privilege to share a common platform with Harjeet ji, Dr. Paramjeet, Dr. Satwant Tadda. I mean, these are people who lived, and they actually live and breathe cinema. So a person like me actually cannot really relate with them, their depth, their study, and how the lives they have lived. And the beauty about them is they are so humble, they are great teachers, they are great givers. So I think that in itself, I think is the need of the hour, because at times you do develop certain expertise, and but you're not wanting to share that with the next generation and with the next world. So I
yes,
think that in itself is a wonderful trait. And my experience as a producer hasn't been too long. And to be honest, I haven't been really involved with watching cinema over the last few years. My work, my profession, and my work has been very different.
yes, sir.
I've spent last 32 years of my life with horses. So it's a very diverse field that I'm coming from.
Hmm.
But all said and done, uh, I mean, if you talk about cinema, again, you talk about movement, you talk about the visual, you talk about the color, and you talk about the backdrop. But maybe I've experienced all those things when I see my horses running in the wild, and the energy, and some of those moments. So maybe there's so much that nature actually coordinates with you.
Hmm.
Uh, One small thing that I'd like to share, uh, I think when we use the word producer, since so much has already been spoken from the aspect of filma and directional and the technical part, that I think I'll just dwell on the aspect of the role of a producer. I think so. I think that maybe slightly, and that is what currently I'm doing. Even though once you are a producer, you have to follow all the other subjects very closely. I mean, you
Hmm.
have to follow direction very closely. You have to understand the camera. You have to understand locations. You have to be part of the scene. And I think as you evolve, then you start taking on larger roles also.
Yes,
Like
sir.
when we did this, my first large project with Dr. Paranjeet, which was The Savior. So he wrote the script, even though the entire research and all the information I provided.
Hmm.
But those beautiful words that he used, and his dialogues, and how the dialogues are actually conveyed to the audience. So that comes under the domain of the director. But the producer, I find his role is actually quite like an agriculturist, if you really see.
Hmm.
Agriculturist also is a producer.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's a very, very beautiful example that I just found this morning. I was discussing with a very dear friend, and he
Hmm.
said again the role of the producer or the farmer is to understand the weather conditions. It may be the markets, is to understand uh, what is currently need of the hour, and you also have to understand how it's going to be financially viable, and you also have to be a dreamer.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
So you have to be a dreamer, and you have to also have a plan in your mind how to execute that dream. So, like Satwant very well put it, he said 5% is inspiration, 95% eventually is the sweat you put in. So I think this example of the producer and the farmer, I think they have so much in common.
Hmm.
And at times, like we see that you have produced the film, but weather conditions, like in farming, are not conducive, and you've not been able to bring the crop home. So
Yes, sir.
maybe some of the films just before the pandemic did get affected. So all the certain the vagaries of nature and all, one goes through that. But the good part is what we are seeing today, that today the role of a producer is only linked to, he's only thought of as the person who is putting the money up front,
Hmm.
which isn't actually true, because there's so much more that goes into it. And the good part is, if you now look at since we are now looking at the corporate houses or the bigger houses, how they are doing it,
Hmm.
moment they are able to get a good script, and they have a convincing person to try to see that project through, then
Hmm.
they create an executive director,
Yes.
an executive producer. So he's the one who's going to execute the, and you see, that's how you pitch it to the corporate world, and that is how your funding starts to come in. So you are
Yes.
actually only putting in the seed money.
Hmm.
So otherwise, the last period, what you've seen is there's been too much of responsibility, financial burden, and responsibility on the
Hmm.
producer. And a lot of people have burnt their fingers, and so automatically people are cautious about. So I think the new trend, again, which is now coming back to the OTT platforms, is again that the producers will get some sigh of relief, that your investments will be low, you will have more people coming in, there'll be more financial stability and viability. So I think all
Yes.
those things will definitely help. So that is something that I'd like to, are my thoughts. But we still have these wonderful legends, and who are dear friends, and I have so much respect and love for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
Sridhar
us.
sir, can I can I can I can I come to your support on this one? You see,
Always.
when when there's an Academy Award and the best film, you see, you have the categories: best film, best director, best actor, and all those kind of things, right? The best film award goes to the producer. It's the producer. In fact, I'll give a joke about it. It's not a joke; it's a real incident. Big time producer. Somebody said William Wyler, again a great director. Somebody said William Wyler made that film, and the producer said, "No, gentlemen, he only directed it. I made the film." I made the film. He only directed it. Earlier, if you see Hollywood, not see, the producer had or still has a larger thing. He puts things together. Now, of course, now today's the scenario has changed completely. What I'm talking about, you can't say about the people say Cecil B. DeMille film. That used to be the thing. It's about a producer. So the producer in our context has become a different thing. He's the only person who puts in the money.
Money.
But in real term, as I said, he said, no, he only directed the film. I made the film. Which means I brought in people. I brought in these people.
Yes.
There's a film called, I'll explain with this, not explain you, I'll illustrate this one. There's a film called Bridge Too Far. Bridge Too Far, the guy who produced the film, he went on retirement. He went on retirement. He was 70 when he came back out of retirement to make the film.
Okay.
And the film had so many top stars. You can't count them. You can't even count them, how many people they were on that. And he produced that film. And that man, he said, I just want to show that I can still do it. ਇੰਨੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਨੇ ਸਟਾਰ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰ ਲਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਜ ਟੂ ਫਾਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਇਹ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਟੌਪ ਬਿਲਿੰਗ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਏ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਟਾਰਸ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਦੇ ਫਾਊਂਡ ਅ ਮੈਥਡ ਕਿ ਅਲਫਾਬੈਟਿਕਲੀ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ he said this is what I want to show this is what the power that he had which nobody could do no director could do and director also was not a big time director what's his name the director who made Gandhi but not a big time that time when he made that but he collected so producer is not a as I said it's not a person who puts in money producer is somebody who you know depending on whether he is a producer or not.
So, sir, a question that might sound silly from my end, but like, does it takes any inspiration to be a producer as it takes to be a filmmaker or a director?
You see, it depends on. See, there are some like. See, the only thing I can refer to is the Hollywood films. Okay, Hollywood films or foreign films. Not so much in Indian film. I mean, but the producers, like when you say production houses, like say RK Films. Now, of course, I mean, today's generation they may not sound, even today, for example, you have certain production houses, and you know they're making some film. They're producers basically.
Yes.
They are producers.
Yeah.
So they are houses. Of course, it has been taken over by. The idea of producer has been taken over by the corporate houses or companies, but there were some major earlier. If you, as I said, it's important to read the history.
Yes.
You see, certain producers, they will make certain kind of films. Musical hai, inna ne banani hai. Suspense thriller hai, inna ne banani hai. Social inna ne banani hai. Earlier in India also we had that houses. Okay. South Indian filmmakers were there. They will make certain kind of social films, and then they were thrillers. They were there.
Yes.
Of course, I will say today's generation because we don't really catch up with the history. But since I belong to that kind of generation, or let's say I have an interest in that, so I keep reading or keep this thing on that. But producer was a big thing. As I said. Hollywood said he only directed the film. I made the film. I made the film.
Yes, sir.
He'll get the best people and put them together. Yeah.
Any tips or any pieces of advice that you would like to give to the aspiring producers to go on and
Again, it's important to read. Read doesn't mean read. Meaning you should know the history. You should know a producer has certain, has to have certain knowledge. He should not be just a moneyed man. कि चलो आज मेरे को पैसे आ गया तो मैं एक film बना ला. He puts together. He puts everything together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's and I also request CBS sir to.
Aditi, actually, when we talk about a producer, I think it also brings in a huge amount of responsibility to what content that you want to, what is your message and what is the content that you would like to share with the world.
Yes,
because visual content also, eventually, what is the mind? Mind is also absolutely made up of the environment, of the visual content, and what we hear and what we read. So those things, absolutely play a very vital role in how we, we start to perceive certain things. So I think it's, if you really look at it from that standpoint, it's good to have varied cinema. But I think it's also good. There is a lot of responsibility on you that when you want to bring certain historical aspects into there and you want to bring out certain social causes or whatever messages that you have, I think responsibility is important. Be responsible. And one more small thing, like somebody very correctly said, he said if you want to create content for awareness and other things, then go for a documentary. But if you want to create something entertaining, then you need to go for film. So I think people are also looking at entertainment as a fun moment and with some content. That's where the Indian mindset has been so set with that they want to see a good dance, they want to see, they want to see 4 good songs, and they want to see some good locations, and they always had running through the mustard fields, and so there was a lot of that element of romance, and also so maybe there was a certain demand, and I think Punjabi cinema went through this phase of the entertainment part coming in, where our heroes were also people who tried to tickle the funny bone, So that's how you evolve, and I think that's how this. But I'm sure with all the archives and the content which is now available with us, so I think it's easy for you to go into the archives. You are able to study. You are able to get more information. But one little thing that I'd like to maybe share on this platform is there's very little information on our history in India, and especially in the aspect of getting information from the Army and the Navy and the Air Force. They're also bogged in with keeping the information to themselves, and certain information is not really shared with you.
Yes.
So it's it's becoming difficult to portray a very good, like we were doing this project on which is just on 47, but we encountered huge amount of difficulties of, getting our hands on certain information which happened 70 years ago, and it's not even really classified, and, which can definitely be shared with the rest of the world. So we are stuck into those compartments, where they're still holding on to the files, and, I wish more was forthcoming, even on Punjab, if you really look at it from the heritage and culture and the architectural point. I wish more information was forthcoming, making it easier for people to work and, and research. So I think these are a few little suggestions that are always, one encounters and you want to share them with people. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And coming back to the earlier question of the cinema festival, I would now like to consider and specify it to the Pentomnia Cinema Festival that we are associated with today. I would love to take the experiences or the feedbacks from all of you with the Pentomnia Cinema Festival, with the team Pentomnia that you've had throughout this event. I'd love to go with the Karanveer sir.
Well, I think it's a great initiative. We wish you all the very best, and we love and support any initiative which is in this wonderful direction, and all our good wishes, and wish you all the best. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. And now over to Harjeet sir, please.
All the best. I think this is a very good attempt, and you should continue with this kind of festivals, because this is a need of the hour, and the students and other viewers and film lovers will certainly love this kind of festivals.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, Sukhwant sir, your word on this, please.
Yeah, ma'am. I'll go a little back on the festival this thing. See, earlier, ਆਪਣੇ ਮੇਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਮੇਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ? ਮੇਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਸ਼ੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਪਸ਼ੂ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਖਰੀਦਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ। That used to be actually trading. In fact, collective ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, trading ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, barter ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਲੈ ਆਵੇ। The films are also more or less, we have this kind of thing. I mean, can you imagine? We attended a film, I think 74 or 75. I'm maybe 75. I'm maybe forgetting the year. First time you attended the film festival in Delhi. Indian Film Festival. Can you imagine who were the guests over there? Kurosawa, Satyajit Ray, Michelangelo Antonioni, Zanussi, all were there. Can you imagine we all sitting and Kurosawa We're all students. We're all students. We are sitting and we're taking class, and Satyajit Ray also sitting there, and
Yes.
he's talking by what do you call Japanese, and somebody translating it, and he's telling us, how to make films, and can you imagine the experience? I mean, now you have this. You personally like not only autograph but being with them. So that's what festivals give you.
Yes, sir.
Can you sometimes going to the big film festivals, ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਮ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ 'ਚ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਆਈਕਨਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, can you imagine you sitting in the same hall with those people? That's what festival gives you. That's what festival gives you. Beside the commercial part of it, beside the commercial benefit of where you exchange idea and you meet people, you make new contacts and all those kind of things. But even the feel, there's some people. ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮਿਲ ਲਓ. That's not possible. But with a festival, everybody comes together and meet them or see them in person. Sometimes you attend their lectures. That's a great feel. That's a great feeling, which I think festival does gives you that kind of experience. And yes, I must congratulate you on this one, making an effort to do this kind of thing where you bring people together and exchange ideas, which otherwise is not possible. Otherwise, you have to make, it's one of the best excuse, in fact, to meet people. Otherwise, nobody will come. Now it's a festival, so people are also in a festive mood. Plus, you get idea, you show film, and you see films, and you talk about it, and you meet people, which I think is a great platform. And I must congratulate you and wish you best of luck on starting this film festival. And I think people will learn, hopefully, a lot, even from the other people's experience. And,
thank you so much, sir, blessing us with these words today. And now, as we come to the end of our today's interaction, to the finale, we are now here for what we've been waiting for too long, with the results of the Pentomnia Cinema Festival, and I'd request Dr. Paramjeet Singh sir to kindly announce the results of the Cinema Festival 2020.
थैंक यू जित्ती. पहले तो आप सबका थैंक्स कि मैं आपने मुझे पहले दिन से इसके साथ कोलैबोरेट किया, और I feel glad to share that I'm the part of this festival. It's very wonderful learning experience for me as a student of cinema, actually. So there are so many wonderful films in this festival. तो एक jury थी पूरी की पूरी जिन्होंने एक result तैयार किया. Thanks for कि आपने मुझे उसको announce करने के लिए choose किया. और Shahid, if you're here, can you share the screen with the PPT of the result? So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the participants, and जो जीत सके उनको भी मुबारक, और जो official selection थी उनको भी मुबारक. और I hope you would like to participate in all the other festivals and Pentomnia Festival for the next sessions. So we are sharing the first winner of the category. It doesn't matter how many times you win an award, it's always very special. So I again congratulate you all. There are so many categories in this festival. The first is category best foreign short. It's from Bangladesh, The Break of Life. It's a wonderful film about the COVID-19 era or COVID-19 time. As a jury member, I have watched it again and again. It's a very good attempt. Best foreign short is The Break of Life. Congratulate to the team of. Next category is best experimental short, and this is by the Jashan Gill. It's Time's Up. It's a wonderful silent or symbolic film. So I congratulate the team of Times Up. And the one another category was best first time filmmaker. It's a film by Amarpreet. It's about the crisis of caste and agricultural labor. So the name of the film is Agambade in Punjabi, Agambade. So congratulate the team Agambade for the best first time filmmaker. And again, it's from Punjab. The best student short film is Sleep Bell. It's again about the COVID-19 time and about the labels of the labels of our country and their situation in this time. And it's a wonderful, silent, and especially for the cinematic science. Congratulate to the team of Sleep Bell for best student short. And the main competition was the best short film of Pantomania Cinema Festival. It's a wonderful short film. Quickly, it's a wonderful short film on the base of a girl child. Is very exciting to ask the question, a very philosophical or very wonderful in the meaning of technique also. The congratulate to the team of Kukli for the best shot, and I congratulate all the winners of this festival. Thank you, Diti, for giving me a chance for this announcement. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you so much, sir. And without you, this festival had not been possible. You're the backbone of this cinema festival, and we congratulate as well as thank you for joining us here today, for being the part since the very beginning and supporting us always.
Thank you, and best wishes.
Thank you, sir. And now a huge thanks and appreciation to all of our guests and our dignitaries from and outside and across the university for being a part of this and for being a part of this festival and blessing all of us. This is Aditi signing off for the festival, and I'd like to thank all of you again for taking out time from your busy schedule and blessing all of us today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.